A cold call here. Not entirely sure. I need to go back and relook at some double pair combos. And obviously this is going to be a better board mixed between myself and the button. I'm going to have a lot of rundowns in my range. I definitely want to bet here, I think. Again, I think the button can continue with hearts, that he would elect to check back. And we have a 50% 3-bet. This is actually not a bad 4-bet candidate. Out of position. And I'm going to go very small here, leverage our ace-ace advantage. Turn's interesting. I still don't want folds. If he has hearts, I don't care. Our equity push is so high. I think a big mistake a lot of people make here. Triple suit's actually close, but we do have a short stack to think about. Honestly, we could even go a third here again, because I'm not trying to fold him out. Couple of interesting hands here. I am still a little bit waking up, so if I space a little bit, apologies. And easy call here. I don't like raising. I mean, I shouldn't say easy call. I think call is better. I need to stop saying that. That's a leak of mine. And versus donk, I think we just, I mean, we can actually go a couple ways here. We could call, keep his line. I actually think I like call with a club blocker. I want to keep his bluffs in. And unfortunately, that card's really good for our range, so it's going to be tough to get paid. Still calling. We still on block 5-6. We have equity on the continue. But yeah, pretty bad river for action. And with only one blind in the game, I'm going to go ahead and raise the 10-7-7-8. Versus check, we have an easy check. Versus bet, easy fold. I do see too many players turning a queen into an unnecessary bluff here. It'll be interesting if that's what we see. Start with a check to check call on the PLO 500 table. And turn, I like check again. Here we just check. He's never folding a queen. He's not folding a 4. I should say he's never folding a queen. He's not folding a queen enough of the time, I don't think. And without a heart or a spade, I'm just going to check. Turn, we definitely can try to squeeze out a little bit of value from some of his curious aces, king, queen, king, jack. So going to go small here. It's tough on Ignition to know if someone is just taking their time or if it's the site, because this site, while it's, in my opinion, one of, if not the softest sites you'll ever play on, ever. Not that I've done super well in it as of late. I definitely could be putting up better results. Not for lack of trying, but nonetheless, the site is so absolutely buggy. I mean, last week there was almost a week straight that myself and many couldn't even log into the stupid site. It kept saying like incorrect password or some silliness. But if you can not tilt through the bugs, it's a pretty good option in my opinion. I know there's a lot of talk around it's bot filled, bot infested. But I'll be honest, I don't see it as big of a problem as people may think. And maybe it is, maybe I'm just naive. But bad queens on the button versus a bit of a tight opener. So typically when I extend my button range to poor queens, I want to make sure there's a reason behind or a reason in front to do so. So the reason would be a whale, a fish, someone who's willing to put in way more money post flop than they really should. And no one here lines up with that. Actually, this table's pretty bad. So I think we're gonna find another one soon. This table's so-so. I'm gonna see how this fills in. The beauty of playing on Ignition is, not that I'm an advocate for massive bum hunting, but we do get to table select a little bit more. Typically on the bottom left, we do have a high range check. We do still have some bets here multi-way, but this flop is going to be relatively good for the IP player. This is basically just, I hope I can see my card for free. We're going to let them. Raising here is just a little bit much. 4 ways, I think. And gonna flat on the top right. Not strong enough to 3-bet, way too strong to fold. We don't call with all of our rundowns, typically Broadway from out of position. And going to check call on the flop on the top right. This is where it gets pretty close, to be honest. Could actually, I think I want to check raise turn. Pretty good turn for him to attack. Can we just fold here? So it could be bad on hearts. If we had backdoor clubs, this is not really much of a decision, but without any additional equity, we're pretty much playing an open ender for the most part. I mean, I guess we do still have kings versus queens and jacks, but not entirely sure. He's gonna fold there. He would have to be basically jamming like queen 2 bear, jack 2 bear, which is very possible. Not entirely sure. So we do go for a delay on the bottom right. We get check raised. Just gonna fold here. Bottom of his check raise range can barrel a ton of rivers. Just don't think we need to sweat it. I think flop is close, but flop could potentially be a c-bet. Clear call on the bottom right, as well as check. We really don't have too many leads in single raise pots out of position, given we did not 3-bet. We hold less aces. And I actually, if I had a single spade blocker, I don't mind considering turning this into a bluff. I'm actually going to limp call here, given it's a low rake environment on the top right. But without a spade blocker, I think we're just too handicapped. And semi-neutral board, given I've limped, if I raise this board would be better for myself. Just going to check. We actually have a hint of showdown value now that there's 4 spades and we block straights and an ace. We also unblock kings and queens, which is nice. I'm actually going to bet here. Turn's close, so we should be folding a 10. Do still think we have to barrel, though. We get all jack 9, jack 8. Jack 8-8 type combos, Jack 8-7-9 type combos to fold, 7-9-8 type combos to fold. It is a little bit mergy, but to isolate the whale. Typically a touch wide, but nobody's over 3-betting behind. And with 2 sets, I'm blocking 10-9. This is actually a little bit close. Start with a check. Not entirely sure. Oh, this is actually a better flop for my range, given I limp called and he raised. He's going to be more overcard heavy. Easy call on the top left. I think I'm still going to check call. And river just going to polarize. I don't really see him folding too many straights. He's not going to check boats here, so I'm not really worried about that. Gonna check, stack off. We actually have some leads here, but again, I think players over c-bet aces. Yeah, just gonna check call, I think. Really not a massive reason to check raise. Turns aren't super difficult to play. And river, we do river a straight. Gonna v-pip the min raise here. Question is sizing. I think we're gonna go with third. And 2-pair open-ender. We're not folding. The question is, do we ever take a passive line? So if he has like ace, ace, queen, this is massive. Yeah, I think with the double backdoor, we're just going with it. And easy get in. He's gonna have a lot of aces with the ace of clubs. That's not a 3-bet. The equity push, or the EV push on this side's been good. The runouts have been a little less than desired. But that's nothing we can stress. Out of our control. Going to actually bet here. A little bit mergy, but we do have the backdoor flush. We have some blocking effects to a straight, and we have more fold equity 3 ways betting in position. Actually did a video on that. Gonna barrel off for value. Don't think I want to use full pot. I still want continues. And rough shape. Easy defend. And could limp, could raise. So bottom right. A very good board for our range. Just gonna c-bet. Start with a check, actually. And typically this is not a call, but he's giving us the price of prices, so here we go. Could just call here trap. Probably just folding river. This is just a fold. If he's overplaying a jack, he doesn't have crazy stats, so easy fold. And versus half pot with the backdoor flush versus 100% C bet. Going to peel. So we have a pretty big whale on the bottom left-hand table. He's V-pipping 90%, raising 45%. Gonna squeeze for that reason. Actually, we have two whales in the pot. And I would really want a club to go crazy here. That being said, this is pretty close with the gutter. We can get kings to fold, queens to fold right away. And their ranges are just in general far weaker. So, from a range perspective, it's not super amazing. From a hand perspective, I really wish we blocked a pair. This is pretty close, actually. Maybe this is a check. I don't know, I think we need a pair or a front door blocker. I think it's a check. Maybe I'm wrong, but... So bottom right single again. Single suited Jack 10-9. This is pretty powerful Jack 10-9. Single suited Jack 10-9 is basically in. On the top right 2.5 SPR. Typically we have a somewhat heavy potting range here. And blocking the king is just massive. Blocking the 6 is also massive, even without a diamond blocker. We have the equity, we're often going to be in good shape getting it in. And the times we aren't in good shape, we're not going to be at usually too much of a deficit. Gonna over limp the bottom left, I think. Do we like ISO? So these players aren't limping to limp fold. This game's actually really good. So I think we want the 6 to be a little bit better. And good polarized turn. Could also just go 75 again. Almost use like a 75 geometric to get in. Wouldn't be a real geometric, but... a shove for value. Going to start leading flop on the bottom left. Do get the call, which is nice, and on the bottom left, just going to give this one up. Our opponent does hero us with 2 pair, which is a pretty ambitious hero in my opinion. Time to take to get our HUD situated, so I'm gonna stay at this table. That was a little bit fishy in my opinion, so easy fold bottom left. Queen, queen, 5-4 without a suit, we're just gonna fold. And I don't have Jirogen. I need to get that back. It's been a little while since I played on Ignition. So I'm having to manually top up, unless there's some setting that I'm missing. I did just figure out Ignition has a setting where you can put the stack into blinds, which is really nice. Maybe it's been there for a long time and I just figured it out. I don't know, but pretty cool feature. 8 high rundown bottom left, flat versus open, raise versus folds. Into the whales, into the jungle. On the top left table, player 3. Looks to be a very loose passive whale. As player 5 keeps trying to isolate them. We do get the limp raise on the top left. Curious how this hand's going to play out. Giving up on the bottom left. So the problem with calling here, in my opinion, just to recap on action, single raise pot, we open, we get 3 callers behind, flops check back. The problem with calling turn is we could have reverse implieds on everything. 2 pair, a 6, spades. The opposing range did bet into 3 competing ranges, so they are naturally going to be a bit stronger as well. So our continues for that reason need to be a bit stronger at the same time. Yeah, that's what I thought. See if he reloads. Okay, so we don't need to make that note, but this is, I mean, that's not a thing. That's a very clear overlimp in my opinion. The problem with him raising, he still has me to worry about. And he's just voluntarily put in 4 blinds with a hand that flops extremely rough, but does benefit from seeing flops at a fairly low price. King 8, 6, 4. A typical rule I use, and I know many do the same thing, when deciding to raise after a limp is shift your position 1 over. So would I open this from the cutoff? And I actually think it's kind of close. I am going to isolate small because I think he's pretty weak, and I think the blinds are overfolding behind. If I thought the blinds weren't overfolding, this would be getting out of line, and it is still a touch, to be fair. So fold to C bets 20%. This player does have a relatively, not a crazy high one to show down. That being said, this is just a kamikaze bluff. We do check back flop. We actually do have some options on Future Street, so it's not like we can just we just have to shut down, but I think betting this flop is a little ambitious. I expect this player to be very aggressive against checks. I don't think they understand the concept of protecting your check back range, which again seems to be a common pattern at this level I've seen on this site. In turn, just going to check to bluff catch, select rivers. That is not one of our select rivers. However, we're probably good often. So we did just flat bad aces in the big. Interesting. We'll start with a check on the bottom left and high C bet on the top left for us, even without a diamond blocker. We benefit from immediate folds, not as much from continues. Expect to lose to a lot of weak diamonds here. High is good as well. Gonna peel here, not loving it, but just too much equity. Player does have a little bit of aggression. I think this is not strong enough to check raise though. The SPR is also a little bit too high. So check raising doesn't accomplish a ton, I don't think. River's going to be a check call. We don't have too many leads here. We lack polarity. He's going to value bet his 6s almost always. Once we bet and get raised, we probably have to fold. I don't think enough players in general or at this level turn Jack 6 into a bluff. And gutter backdoor spades, I like bet. Pretty dry flop, tough to get continues on. So ace deuce 3, jack deuce. Okay, so just completely mergy nonsense, yeah. It fits. Hey everyone, Tilty Fish here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this content and would like more, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time. Hey everyone, Tilty Fish here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this content and would like more, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.